some music for this game. You know, I wanted to like play records and see what happens, like in private mode. Just like, why did that rocket? Come on, get on, get in. Oops. How many did I pick up? 4? How many do we need? More than 4, I think. Maybe just 2. Doubt it. Looks like I gotta go to the next town now. There's no more teams here. The last one had more than 1. Oh. It's right here now. Oh, don't blow it up. Damn it. Civilians destroyed. Did I even get the fuel? I did. I didn't even need to blow up that. Oops. Sorry. I thought I was defending myself, but I got in the fuel. I should have just ran off. Sorry, evil enemy scud bucket. Well, one more. Oops. Need weapons. There's one down here, but can't even get it. Damn it. Probably would have taken less damage if I just... just... Get in. Oh shit. Mission 2 complete. How? How did I complete that mission? I don't understand. Okay. There it is on the floor. Okay. So like, Deadly radio sites, rescue political prisoners, destroy power stations. Ugh. So like, I need a. I'm really on the fence about whether or not I want to get a stylus, like for my record player, or like not a stylus. I mean, I could get more stylus. I need to get more styli, plural. Like I need to stock up for the stylus that I have that came with the record player that my sister bought like over a decade ago. Like this Newmark. It was back when USB record players first started showing up on the market, really, and were affordable and were decent. And this Newmark has awful USB. Like it's really bad, but it's a pretty decent turntable. If you just want to get the phono signal out of the tone arm is kind of crappy as far as what it looks like. But it works as long as you don't fuck it up. You know, it is still good. It's still in good condition. So as long as it's still in alignment and not skating on you or like jamming up or anything like that, it's like if you can find a Newmark TT USB, and there's another company that started producing them after they like were Newmarks. Like Newmark produced it for a while. It was probably some, Shenzhen model something from way back. It might not even be an original Newmark. It might be more closely related to the company who took over after Newmark stopped producing them. But it's okay turntable, and the stylus is really inexpensive, and the cartridge is inexpensive, and it's pretty good. It's not awful, but it's a spherical cartridge, so it's like I've been listening to stereo records on a mono cartridge basically forever, and there's that's kind of like there's part of me that wants to tell people like you should do this, like you should get the spherical cartridge just so that you have one, because I'm sure you'll come across mono records, you might have a few already, and the spherical stylus is better for those, or it's what you're supposed to use. There's people are like, you're supposed to use a special cartridge for those, that'll break them, or it's like, no, that won't break your mono records. It breaks the mono signal, but it doesn't really break the record, unless it's a shellac. Maybe the shellacs are a little different, but like most of the 78s aren't actually shellacs that you'll find. They're just 78s that were made after that people because people still bought them. Anyway, there's four turns is like a 45. It's dubbing like the 78s. If a record player doesn't play 78s, I'm kind of suspicious, because it's like what we could be doing is making 78s again and putting 78 RPMs on the record players again, because like you could, instead of selling 45 singles or like master recordings at 45 RPMs, you could be making them at 78 RPMs, and it would be higher resolution. Like it'd be better. Like it would be like the 45s are so good, except better. Like what's wrong with y'all? What are you doing? Like it would also be like it'd be like a 33 sized single album, but I want it. I would pay for it if it was a song or a couple songs that I was really like. It would give a place for artists to actually make new vinyl, not just like improved vinyl, but like new vinyl with like Dolby on it and stuff, like making higher sample rate vinyl with 32-bit sample rates and 32-bit, not 32-bit, but 32-bit sample rates, and then what's the other? Why can't I remember what it's called? Bit rates and sample rates, samples and bits and samples, sample rates and bit rates. So there's like 32-bit, and then sample rate like 384, 384,000. Like do a record in a sample rate that high and see what happens. I mean, I'm sure you could make all these arguments about how it's not audible, but it's like you're working on plastic. Like any improvements you can make to the signal itself is going to improve, like potentially, like what's the limit of the vinyl itself and the metal you're using to press these grooves. It's a much higher, but I mean, I'm not mad or anything. It's just like
um, high resolution vinyl is cheaper to make, or like it's not really cheaper to make. I suppose it's probably cheaper to make um, CDs nowadays, but vinyl's just plastic. There's not, you don't need like, I guess you kind of, it could be better. Um, Obviously, it's like a normal, actual. I like that it's a stylus moving in real space, like because it's a, because the read operation is happening acoustically, like instead of digitally. You get stuff that is like it filters it so that you're limited by what's only possible from like a one man band, or one person band or whatever. Like it limits it to what like a single musical instrument with like a one string could produce potentially. Like what's the potential of a single string on a violin? It's like, well, sort of like a record cartridge, but really it's like that's the potential of a drumstick is the whole band. Like um and with digital you get like, I like digital. I prefer to buy multi-channel music on a CD if it exists. There, people still haven't standardized like quad on CD. I have one, but it's on a Super Audio CD. But it's like it's the hybrid Super Audio CDs, right? So I got this Herbie Hancock CD. That's like, I don't remember which one it is. I'm looking for it. The Sextant. This is the Sextant Super Audio CD hybrid from Focalion, um, for Herbie Hancock. It has the quad album, like the SC on the hybrid tracks. So like it has the normal stereo album and then it has the quadraphonic album rips. And it's still not a standard, but like you can get quadraphonic rips onto a CD. It's possible, and then like there's no actual like nobody's making quadraphonic preamps and amps. Like I mean amps, you could argue all amps would work, but like they used to make dedicated like before Dolby surround sound. Um, the original Dolby was just quad, and or you could 5.1 was like the limit. Like that's how much you can get out of. I mean, you could get more, but not logically. I mean, logically probably. I mean, they did get more. They did like 7.1 is if your sides aren't like the reverse phase of your fronts. Like if you've got a stereo, uh, the rear can be the sides of the rear. So like if it's the sides, it's not really um, counterposed with your front mains at all. Like depending on how much towing you like, because that's another thing that changes the geometry of everything. Is like if you tow your speakers in, if you put your speakers 45, like if you just make a square basically, and you point every speed, like your front left speaker points at your rear right speaker, and your front right speaker points at your rear left speaker, right? So then the rear speakers balance the front speakers. So the negative phase of the front speaker no longer has to like actually be logical. Like you could theoretically have an infinite baffle for that speaker, like soffit mount it, put it in the wall like they do in theaters. That's what they want to do, is put it in the wall so that the rear can just be the reinforcement for that phase, and you can like get a balanced response in your main listening position in the middle of it all. Um, so like but that's just stereo. That's the thing. It's like 4 speakers is stereo, but you could have 6 speakers. Any symmetrical pairing of an array that is done properly is stereo. It doesn't matter how many speakers there are. It is split down the middle. It's not that it's your left ear, your right ear to a certain degree. There's a split down the middle, and that's the only thing that matters. The to your brain. And like there's spacing between your ears. So like people talk about waves canceling each other, but your head decorrelates everything. Like we want to talk about how the room is sucking out the bass. And it's like not like you think it is. Like it's just a geometric thing. Like if you imagine a batting cage, that machine that throws the ball at you. You know, imagine a machine that throws balls in the middle of your room, or where your speaker is, wherever your source is. You've got this machine that throws a ball at you, and it's like the batting cages, you know. Except it throws the ball out in every single goddamn direction. Every time it goes through a cycle, it'll throw out a cloud of balls in every single direction. It'll block them, sort of. Like the probability distribution changes behind itself because the speaker itself blocks the waves going behind it a little bit, right? But like for the most part, if you just imagine like a trillion little tiny bouncy balls like shooting straight out of your speaker in every direction and then bouncing off your walls a few times, like as they keep going, like they're going the speed of sound, so they get to bounce off the walls like 20 times before they start slowing down, you know? Like, but once they start slowing down, they fall right out of the air, you know? Like it does, they don't have any more momentum and they stop. And like it's not that the waves are canceling each other out most of the time. It's that probability distribution of those little balls bouncing off the walls. Like they pass right through each other. They don't care. Like they'll keep carrying, like the individual molecules keep carrying their waveforms. Like they go right by each other. It's like an orbital. Like just because like a star passes one that's exactly opposite to it doesn't mean they both disappear, you know? Like they keep going past each other and they change slightly and then, you know, they fall out of the sky. Or maybe they don't even pass each other. Usually it's like with modal problems, when you have room modes, that's not the waves canceling each other out. That's the room's wave canceling out the sound waves. Like the room has an inverted geometrical like probability distribution that gives it certain harmonic qualities, and at certain points in the frequency distribution, certain waves are not supported very well within this geometric space. So like it is the balls bouncing off the wall where you're standing, you just never get hit by any. Like it's not that anything's getting canceled out where you're standing, it's that it's getting canceled out before it even gets to you. And it's not even getting canceled out, it's just not getting to you. Like it's going everywhere else but where you're standing. Like because of its size, it can't get, it's like a spirograph, you know? Like you do a spirograph a bajillion times over, that hole that it left is still not going to get filled up because it never crosses that area. Like so anyway, I want a stylus. I've got this cheap $20 Newmark stylus that it's not a diamond. That's for sure. It's from the TTUSD. The Newmark HS1 is the head shell, I guess. And the cartridge is the Groove Tool. And, you know, it's just a moving memory cartridge. Like, it's the same as, like, the Audio Technicas, except cheap. And, a sphere. Maybe it's not spherical, because you can see. I read somewhere there was spherical, yeah, it says right there, spherical diamond tip. 0.6 nip spherical diamond tip, so it is a diamond. It's an itty bitty diamond though. There's really not much tip there. And this one's brand new. And it's bonded, sure. And it's like spending $200 on a record stylus that you know is not gonna really get rid of anything. It's not gonna make the record sound like CDs. Like, but I really do like the spherical sound. There's something very special about it. Like, especially for like like why we listen to records, like the sound of the record, the fire burning, like that background feedback. It's not feedback, but it is kind of feedback. I mean, I'm not the record player, and I'm listening to the record player. If I was the record player, it would be a feedback loop. But I'm playing the records. But it's like it's perfect. Like the spheres are, there's no weird geometry in them for the vibes to get all like shuffled around, and everybody's so used to a sphere, which might be the best place to start. Like if you wanted to get into being a record snob, like you want to start with spheres, then go into cones. Don't like go to the conicals after that. Don't go straight to an elliptical or a Shibata or a microline. Like you go spheres, then cones, then do an elliptical. Don't go to a Shibata or a microline yet. Do sphere, cone, elliptical, and sphere, cone, elliptical, sphere, cone, elliptical. Like, and then you can do a microline or a Shibata. They're really the fucking same, but different. Like it's kind of like one. I think it's like. Seems like the microline lasts longer and you want to use it more often, but you really don't, because it's also like the most potentially like damaging to your records. And when you use your microline, you might, I don't know, seems like if I was going to spend this much money on a stylus, like the Shibatas only exist for quadraphonics, like, but then now people use them just because, like, people, I don't know, apparently they touch the walls more than the microlines. Like, the microline goes all the way down to the bottom of the groove, and touches, like, tries to basically play the record like micro record, like at the very bottom of the groove where it's been played the least. So, like, if you want to record an album that might be kind of in old, bad condition, or sampling in general, might be better with a microline. But then it comes down to like quality. Like I don't know if a microline would be appropriate for like capturing a quadraphonic record properly. It might be, but it might also not be. Like it should be fine, I would think, as long as the record is actually in good condition. But I don't know. Quadraphonic records really aren't the best. 8-tracks were better for that. It's kind of like how tape got, like they had quadraphonic records and then tape like came out. And nobody wants tape, so quadraphonics was like, you know, get your quad records in better quality. without the crappy or as much of the tracking noise. And then they just phased it out for no reason. Like, what? I think it's really just a matter of people not using it, or like musicians not liking recording arts. Like there might be a degree of jealousy there. I don't know. Like people being kind of mad about someone recording, and it seems like, you know, who cares? Or it might just be a commercial flop because everybody's 8-tracks melted. Or something. I don't know. Why is it so dark still? I don't like this color or this scheme of the profile. I don't like the profile. What's the 32X one do? Changes my input to CBBS green. It looks basically the same, doesn't it? Well, I mean, now it's razor sharp, right? I just started this mission. I don't like the dither. How do I reduce the dithering? I mean, it's not really dithering, is it? Checkerboxing, dithering? It was the blur. I could use the thing. Advanced settings. And I could use bilinear, soft, and then scan lines. Maybe. It just looks blurry now. Cubic. I mean, the blur. Oops. Damn it. I pressed the wrong button. I didn't save my profile. Profile, soft file. And then, good thing it wasn't like a ton of changes. Scan lines. Should I use Gaussian? Gaussian. Soft. I mean, clearly soft is what it wants. It's like wasting a rocket. I wish it would, like, you know, these games, these old games, it's like you go through and make them more realistic without doing anything. Why do you stop? Or there, you know, you could make little highlight touches and make them that much better. Like, when you blow up the things, leave them there. Leave a wreck in the road so that the next one can't get through. Change up the game. Give it, like, make it a different mode, you know, like the original, and then like slightly different to make it. I mean, it seems like it'd make it easier to some extent, but those not blow me up. That one time it was like I was fresh off the boat, no damage whatsoever. One hit down. Guess it's like a thing, like positionally where you get hit. You know, I don't ask for much, just hit the damn target. That one hit. You can't tell how tall these buildings are. How many? I got 6 on board. There's more. No fuel. Where's the fuel at? I need fuel. There's no fuel. There's no one here. I'm out of here. I didn't do the thing. I need to save this as like 5. This needs to be saved in the 5 spots. So that I can just triple buffer. No. Really, there's only one over there? Yeah, that's fine. Get rid of that thing. Really? That's it? That's it? What? Where'd he go? one up here at the landing zone. How many more? One more. Dang. Okay, now power station. Weapons. Who that? Server. Okay, so. Now what? More ammo. Or something. I just need to know where it is. There's some over here. Shit. Chemical plant, scud launchers. I'm rescued in prison support. So chemical plant is all the way down there. Oops. Well, at least I put a hole